Hello everyone, we are back with another video on, we are still working on chapter 7 and this video will be on section 7.5, installment buying. And we will focus on buying cars and homes. So it'll be installment, car or home buying. And so we will consider both cases, both scenarios, both situations where you would be buying, say you're in the market for a car or you're in the market for a house, and you are thinking about financing these. Most people do finance still these big ticket items. So it's wise to know how the market works when it comes to buying cars and homes on credit. And so, of course, it is important to have good credit because we can get better interest rates, right? When we have good credit, we are perceived by the lenders as low risk buyers, right? And when we have bad credit, we are perceived as not as a little bit more risky, right? And so we will not talk about here what it means, to have good credit or bad credit or how to raise your credit. It's mostly the section is on knowing how to calculate a car payment or total interest paid over the life of a loan, or if you're buying a house, the same thing. What would be the monthly payment if, say, I buy a 15-year mortgage versus a 30-year mortgage? And what is my monthly payment, and what is the total interest I will be paying if I go with 30 years versus 15 years or any other term. So let's go ahead and start. So we're going to start with example number 1. And as before, I will not cover every problem, but I will do a good number of problems to give you an idea of how to work these problems. So reading here number 1, and I will read and then I'll share my screen so you can see what I'm writing. So it says Mary Lee purchased a stove. So this is question number 1, 7.5. Mary Lee purchased a stove for $340. So the price of the stove is $340. I'm going to write that down. She made a down payment of $52. So the down payment, $52. Okay. And paid $46 a month for 8 months. So payments were $46 for 8 months. And so the question is, find the total installment price of the stove. Installment price, so let me write this down. I'm going to stop sharing. So installment price consists of total paid. It consists of the down payment, because that's the first installment. An installment is a payment. So down payment, right, plus the total amount paid in monthly payments. So we need to figure out what this total is, right? So we know the down payment is $52. So it's going to be 52 plus whatever this total is. So we have to figure this out. This is going to be $46 times 8, right? And so this is going to be 46 times 8. So 6 times 8 is 48, and then there's 4. The 8 times 4 is 32, and 4 is 36, right? So 368. So plus 368, that gives us a total of 52 plus 368 gives us a total of $420. So this is the installment price of the stove. Okay, that's the installment price of the stove. So again, installment price includes the down payment plus what is paid in monthly payments. You total all the monthly payments plus the down payment, and basically is total payments if you want to simplify it, you can just think of installment prices. What did this person pay in total payments? That's really the way to, an easier way to see it, okay? And so the installment price is $420. Okay, so that's number one. And let's go back to the workbook. And you see number two, you want to try this one. It's similar to number one. So I'm going to go ahead and try number three here because it involves a little bit more. It has three parts. So Martin Dennis purchased a widescreen television for $1,850. So that's the price of the television. So 1,000, and again, let me write everything down and then I'll share my screen so you can see. 1,850. He made a down payment of 12%. So the down payment was 12% and pay the balance over 6 months. Okay. And so the finance charge was 2% of the amount financed. So finance charge is 2% of amount financed. And so what are we looking for? The down payment. So I'm just writing this down. And then the installment price. And then the monthly payment. And so I'm going to stop sharing now. And so we can work this problem. Okay. So I wrote everything down here. So we want the down payment, which is 12%. So you want to calculate. So you want to multiply 1,850 times 12%, so times 0.12. So that's $222 for the down payment. Okay, so for part A, you have the answer here, 222. Okay. Now for the installment price, you want to remember it's going to be 222 plus whatever he paid in total payments, right? So we have to figure out the monthly payment here. All right, you have to figure out the monthly payment. So to do that, I'm going to work here on the side. We have to see, okay, so the price was 1,850. If I subtract the down payment of 222, I get how much he financed, right? What the amount financed. So 1,850 minus 222 gives us the amount financed. So this is the amount financed. Amount financed, okay. And why do we need this? Because we need to figure out what were the total month, what is the monthly payment, so that we have to know what the payment was, because then we have to multiply that monthly payment by 6 because he did that for 6 months. And then we add it to the down payment in order to figure out the installment price. Remember, it's the 222 plus whatever he paid in monthly payments. Okay, so the amount financed was 1,628, right? 1,628. He paid that over 6 months. But remember, there's a finance charge of 2% of the amount financed. So you have to add to this 2%. So it's 2% of what? 2% of the amount financed. That's the finance charge. Okay. So the finance charge, you're gonna take 1,628. Remember, we're figuring out the finance charge, 1,628 times 2%, 0.02. So finance charge, you want to add it here, is 32.52. Sorry, 32.56. Okay, so 32.56. That's the finance charge, 32.56. So I'm going to add it here, 32.56. And then remember that these two This plus this divided by 6 is going to give us the monthly payment. So you're going to add 1,628. Make sure you do the top first. So 1,628 plus 32.56, and then divide that by 6 because it's six payments. So it's 276.76. This is the monthly payment. 276.76 is the monthly payment. So I can write that here. 276.76. Now, but remember, you're looking for installment price. So this is for 6 months. So you're gonna take 276.76 times 6. And that's gonna give you 276.76 times 6. That will give us 1,660.56. Okay. And you're going to add this to the down payment in order to get the installment price. Okay, so it's a down payment plus what this person paid in monthly payments, which we figure this out to be 1,660.56. So you add these two, you get 222 plus 1,660.56, and you get 1,882.56 for the installment price. Okay, that's the installment price. Now, let me go over this one more time so you don't get confused, because there's a lot going on in this problem. So you first know that the price was 1,850, right? Right here, let me lower a little bit. That's the original price. A down payment was given of 12%, which is 222. Okay. And then the balance is paid over 6 months. We need to figure out the finance charge. Okay, so in order to do that, we have to figure out the amount financed, which is the original price minus the down payment, which gives us 1,628. That's the amount financed. Now, then you have to figure out the finance charge, which is 2% of the amount financed. So you take 1,628 and you multiply that times 2%, and you get 32.56, which is the finance charge. And you add the finance charge to the amount finance, and then you add the two and divide by 6 to get the monthly payment. And you get the monthly payment times 6, which gives you total monthly payments, plus the down payment gives you the installment price. Okay. So make sure you understand this, the sequence of how you need to do these, how do you need to answer these questions. All right, this is very useful knowledge, because most of us are one day we're gonna, or maybe we have already in the past purchased a car, and to do it by financing some of that, some of the price. And so it's important to know how this works. Okay, so that is number 3. That's number 3. And let me go ahead and share my screen here so we can move on to the next problem. That's number 3. And you see number 4 is very similar, so you want to try that one. I'll do number 5. We have the following components of an automobile loan. Okay, so here we have an automobile loan, and it says purchase price. So I'm going to be writing this down. So purchase price is 9,308.35, and this is including taxes and fees. Okay. The down payment, that's important because that's already including taxes and fees. So the down payment is 2,400. And then payments are 274. And 90 cents for 48 months. Okay. Find the amount financed. And so we want to know amount financed. Let me write this down. And then installment price. And then we want to find the finance charge. Okay, let me stop sharing now. Okay, so there's the information. This is number 5. And we're going to work this problem. So amount financed is going to be the purchase price minus the down payment, right? So for A, we have 9,308.35 cents minus 2,400, which is going to give us the amount financed to be, let me see, 9,308.35 minus 2,400 gives us 6,908.35 cents. This is the amount financed, right? Now, the installment price is going to be the down payment plus the total this person paid in payments, right? And so we have to figure the total. Well, the down payment is 2,400 plus what this person paid in total in payments. So on the side here, I can take 274.90 times 48 months. So times 48, and it gives me 274.90 times 48 gives me 13,195.20 cents. So you're going to add the down payment plus 13,195.20 cents. You add the 2 to get the installment price. And we get a total installment price of 15,595.20 cents, right? That's for B. Remember, down payment plus what the person paid in monthly payments for the installment price. Now, the last part is the finance charge. So the way to figure out the finance charge, remember, you don't count the down payment because that's not part of it, right? So the finance charge is going to be, the way to figure that out is you have to take, okay, how much did this person paid and minus minus the so for example, what you would do here is you would take this amount, right? But you can't include the down payment. So I'm going to have to just include this amount here. So it's going to be 13,195.2, right? And then I'm going to subtract, right, the amount financed, because that was the original amount financed, right, without the interest. So I'm going to subtract 6,908.35 cents in order to figure out the finance charge once again. So I don't include the down payment because this is cash that this person gave, right, as a down payment. But I include what this person paid in payments, which is 13,195.20 cents. So this is total amount this person paid in payments minus the amount financed. The original amount financed was 6,108.35, and that's going to give me the finance charge. So when you have 13,195.20 cents minus 6,908.35 cents gives you a finance charge of 6,286.85 cents. Okay, this is the finance charge. Make sure you understand why we did not include the 2,400, because that's not part of the payments, right? So we only include, in order to know the finance charge, we have to only include that part, which, you know, that remain after the down payment, which is, you know, what we paid in payments, because the payments already include the interest, and the 2,400 doesn't include any interest because that is just cash that we gave, right? So that's not charged any interest. So we don't include it. We include everything else, right? So what we paid in payments times 48 gives me a total amount of 13,195.2 minus the original amount I financed. This was like the principal. You can think of this as the principal. So you subtract the principal in order to get the interest. So finance charge is really the interest that you paid on this loan. Okay, that's the finance charge, the interest that was paid, and then is everything above the principal. So the principal is 13,195.2. Sorry, the principal is 6,908.35, right? That's the principal, what was financed, right? This is the principal. So it's the amount financed, right? What I paid in monthly payments already includes the interest, right? So the 274 times 0.90, it includes the interest, times 48. So in order to figure out how much interest I paid, I take the total paid minus the principal, gives me the finance charge or the total interest paid, okay? So I hope this makes sense, and that's number 5. Let me move on to the next one. And let's see, we're gonna look at, depending on the problems there I have on my list, we're going to do, so I did number 5. We probably want to also do number 6 because I think 5%. Yeah, this one's a little different because the sales tax and the license and titles, they're included separately. So I want to do this one. Notice that number 5 included in the purchase price was it included taxes and fees, but number 6 does not. So it does it separately. So let's do that one. And after number 6, let me see. Yeah, we have, this is a very interesting section because it covers cars and then homes. So it's really useful. So it's a very good chapter, this chapter 7. All right, let's read. We have the following components of an automobile loan. The purchase price is 19,500. Sales tax is 5.5%. So I'm going to write this down, 5.5%. License and title, I'm just going to write the information and then I'll share. License and title are $435. The down payment is 3,300, and the payments are 380.25 for 60 months. So this one is a little more expensive, 385.25 for 60 months. And we're gonna look at, okay, cost, total cost of car, and then B, amount financed, and then C, installment price, and then finance charge. So same process, is just that the title and sales tax, they're separately included separately, not on the purchase price. So let me stop sharing here, and we're gonna work this problem. Okay, so if you want to find the total cost of the car, that's gonna include the price of the car and all the fees, right? So we have to include the sales tax and the license and title. So we have to figure out what these are. Well, we know that the license and title is 435, so that one's there. But what is the sales tax? So we have to figure that out. 5.5% of the purchase price. So let's figure that out. So it's 19,500 times 0.055 gives me 1,072.50. So this is 1,072.50, right? And so you're gonna add then for the purchase price, I mean for the, not for the purchase price, for the total cost of the car is going to be the purchase price plus the sales tax, which is going to be 1,072.5, plus the license and plates, and this is going to be 435. So you add all of those 3 items, and that's going to give us, let me see, 72.5 plus 435. That's gonna give us, I get, let me see, let me try it again because I think I did it wrong. 19,500 plus 1,072.5 plus 435 gives me $21,007.50. So that's what I'm getting. That's the total cost of the car, including all the fees. And that's usually what when you go to a dealership. And then some of the dealers, be careful because they'll add like extra stuff, like some sort of alarm or something that you're not really interested in purchasing, but they'll tell you like, oh, it's included and we can't really remove it. So yeah, you have to be very careful. Ask for everything that you're in doubt. Make sure you ask and ask them to show you everything in writing, everything, because some of these things are just they're added and you may not even need it. So anyway, so that's the total cost of the car. Now what is the amount financed? Well, the amount financed will include, we have to say, okay, we have 21,000. The total cost of the car is 21,007.5, but we gave a down payment, right? So minus 3,300. We have to subtract the down payment. So to figure out the total amount financed, we subtract the down payment from the total cost of the car. And so we get 21,007.5 minus 3,300. You get 17,707.5. That's the amount financed. Okay. Now, that's going to be 6B. Now the installment price is going to be, you need to figure out, well, that's going to be the down payment plus the total amount in payments. So let's figure that out. So in payments, we're paying 385 and 25 for 60 months. So you want to multiply times 60 and see what that is. So 385.25 times 60, we get 23,000, 380. Oh, sorry, it's 380. I think I got it wrong. Hold on, let me see. I think I wrote it wrong. No, I didn't get it wrong, but let me go back to the question. What was the 380 and 25? So it's not 385, it's 380.25 here. So 380.25 times 60. And we get 22,815. And so you add that to the down payment, 22,815. And so the installment price becomes the down payment plus what this person paid and payments. So 3,300 plus 22,815 gives you 26,115. That's the installment price, right? And then to get the finance charge, which is the last part, we have to take what this person paid in payments, this amount, 22,815 minus the principal. Now the principal here, be careful not to include, be careful to include the right amount. So that's going to be the total cost minus the down payment. So that was this price here, this one right here, the 17,000, because this is total cost, right? 21,007.50 minus the down payment. So this is the amount financed. So you have to take the total, the 22,815 minus the amount finance, which is 17,707.5, right? And that will give you the finance charge. Remember what this is. This 22,815 is what this person paid in just monthly payments, but you need to subtract the amount finance, which is the principal, and then you get the finance charge. So you get 22,815 minus 17,707.5. which gives us 5,107.5 for the finance charge. Okay. Let me make sure that you get everything there. So let me raise it up a little so you can see the top, and then move it to the side here. And then I'm gonna lower it a little bit, raise it a little bit more so you can see the bottom. There's the top, and there's the bottom there. So you can pause the video, and sometimes I can't get the whole thing on the screen. There we go. All right. So I hope this makes sense. This was number 6. And we're gonna look at number 8 now. Let me go there. Hold on. Okay, 7. You want to do this one on your own. It's almost the same. And then we're gonna look at number 8 because this one's a little different because it deals with the APR table. Now the APR table, let me show you something here where you can on the workbook at the very bottom. I'm gonna switch pages here. The APR table is on page 162. Just look for this table APR. We will be using this table. Okay. And it's in your workbook, and you need this formula here. Amount financed for $100 borrowed equals the finance charge divided by the amount financed times 100. And then we will use a table here. So go back to the workbook here. I'm gonna read. And it says for number 8, Jennifer Siegel bought a new Ford Focus for $18,700. She made a down payment of $6,200, and she financed the balance at $400, 400.4042 per month for 3 years. Now, find the APR and refer to the APR table. So let me write down the information here. And so the price is $18,700. Down payment is $6,200. The payments are $442 per month for 3 years. And then find the APR. So I'm going to show you how to do this. It's actually pretty simple, but you do need to know how to use the table because it's not like super clear. Once you are shown, then it's easy. Okay, so using the formula for APR, it's equal to the finance charge. This is the formula divided by, and this is in your workbook, the amount financed times 100. And so we have to figure out the finance charge. We have to figure out the amount financed. And so we know the price is $18,700, the down payment. So you can figure out amount financed first. As the price, which is $18,700 minus the down payment. So that's going to give you the amount finance of $12,500. That's amount finance. Now for the finance charge, you have to know the payments first, how much this person paid total payments. So it's $442 for 3 years. So 400.42 times 3 years, that's 36 months. So you're gonna multiply times 36. So 400.42 times 36. So total amount paid in payments is $14,415.92, right? But then we need to subtract we need to subtract, in order to get the finance charge, you need to subtract the principal, right? which is the amount financed, this amount. So we subtract the principal. So we get 14,415.92 minus the principal or minus the amount financed. That's going to give me the finance charge. So minus 12,500, it gives me 1,915.12 cents. This is the amount financed. Sorry, this is the finance charge. So finance charge. So once again, whatever this person paid in total payments, right? This amount minus, so this is the total amount paid in payments, 14,415.92 cents, right? Minus the 12,500. What is this 12,500? This is the amount financed, the principal. That gives me the finance charge, right? So then you have everything you need. You have the finance charge, you have the amount financed times 100. So when you do the math here, I'm going to do it here on the top here so you can see. So the finance charge, right, is 1,915.12. So I'm just using the formula divided by the amount financed, which is 12,500 times 100. It's going to give you a number. This is the important number here. So let me do the math here so you can see. So I'll do the fraction key, 1,915.12 cents divided by 12,500, and then I'm going to multiply times 100, gives me the number 15.32096. Go ahead and round to the nearest cent. So 15.32. So you round to the nearest cent because, you know, we're dealing with money, so to the nearest cent. And you're going to look for this number, 15.32 on the table to figure out the APR. Remember, we're looking for the APR. And so I'm going to show you, going back to the table here, let me share my screen. Going to the table, you see here at the bottom where it says, you look for the number 15.32. If you go to the second table here, the row 36 here, notice the number 1532, you go up to the interest rate, and that's 9.50. So you find 1532 in the table, and then you go up to see the interest rate, that's 9.50. So the APR is 9.50 or 9.5%, right? That is the APR, 9.5%, right here, 9.5%. Okay, so that's how you use the table. And that's number 8. Now we're going to work the next problem. Let me share my screen. I'm going to go to the workbook. And we're going to see number 9. It says Fred borrowed $2,750 for 24 months. His payments are $127.75 per month. If he decides to pay off the loan after 13 months, find the amount of interest that he will save. Now you need to use, it says right there, use a rule of 78. That's also in the workbook. So I'm gonna write it here as I do the problem, but you can find that in the workbook and where the formulas are. So make sure you look for that right there in the workbook. Just like you looked at the APR table, you have the rule of 78. You have all the formulas on the very back of your workbook. Somewhere there, they're all there, and also the answers to the questions. And so let me go ahead and write down the information I need. So the principal, what he borrowed is $2,750. The time is 24 months. Payments are $127.75 per month. He decides to pay off the loan after 13 months. So pay off after 13 months. Find the amount of interest that he will save. Okay, find the interest. So find amount of interest. And we want to use a rule. It says on the at the top of the problem, it says use rule of 78. Okay. And so the rule of 78, I'm going to write it down here at the well, here's the information. Rule of 78. It's I'm going to write down the formula is U is equal to F times K plus 1, all that divided by N times N plus 1, this is a 1 here. And then what is U? U, I'm going to write it here on the side, unearned interest. There's an insect here that is driving me crazy. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try to kill it. Sorry about that. It was just driving me crazy. I killed it. This insect. All right. Thank you, Abba. Oh, that thing was just driving me insane. Okay, so U is equal to unearned interest. And then F is finance charge. K is remaining payments. And then N is the original number of payments. So make sure you write this down because this is very everything's in your workbook, but this is I don't think you have seen this before, right? And so, okay. So how do you figure this out? So we're gonna look at the principal, the payments, you know, the unearned interest. And so how to figure this out? So it says here that the principal, remember, is 2,750. We have 24 months, right? So time is 24 months, so T equals 24. Actually, N, so we need to figure out what each part is. The how do you know which one is, what is the unearned interest, right? So we have to figure out unearned interest. And then and then the payments and everything. So we're gonna do this in steps. And let me see. So the way to start here, let me see. So total interest, you have to figure out the payments here. So let's see, so 127, so we have to take 127 and 75. We're gonna multiply, right, for how many months is this? So let me see. This was a little bit different. Let me just give me a second to orient myself here. So the principal is 24 months. The payments are 127.75. After 13 months, she decides to pay off loan after 13 months. Find the amount of interest that she will save. Okay. And so what I have here, total interest, 127.25 for 24 months. Let me times that. 127.75 times 24 months. Okay, so when you multiply this times 24 months, you get 3,066, right? 3,066. Now we're going to subtract the principal, right? So we get 3,066 minus the principal of 2,750. That gives me $316. That is the total interest, right? So this is going to be total interest, which is going to be the finance charge, by the way, the F part. So you can think of this as the F. So F in the formula. So that's the total interest, 316, right? Okay, now Then the next part to figure out, so we have, in the formula, we have F. What is K? The remaining payments, right? Well, it says that after, if you read the problem, it says after 13 months, they pay it off. So obviously, this was 13 months. So 13 months plus how many months gives you 24. So the K, the remaining months is going to be, K will be 11, right? Because 13 months is a payoff. They're going to pay it off after 13 months. And so then this K is 11. So you, the way to do it is you take 24 months minus 13. That gives you the K. So once again, 24 total time in months minus the payoff number of months gives you this K here. So then the K here in the formula is going to be 11. And N is the total number of payments, which is going to be 24 in total, right? Because it's 24 months. And so you plug all of this in the formula and you're ready to plug everything in. So the F is 316 times the K. Remember, K, remaining payments, is the total time, 24, minus this payoff number of months, which is 13. That gives you 11. So that's 11. And this is 11 plus 1 all over N. N is the total number of months, which is 24. Then 24 plus 1, right? And then you're going to do the math here, all of it, right? You're going to go ahead and do the top. Well, if you have this calculator, you could do it all in one time. So you have like the division key there, and then 316 times 11, parentheses 11 plus 1, and then go to the bottom here. But not all calculators allow you to do this. It depends if you have this one, the TI-30XS plus 1. And then, it's going to give you a fraction, but you can convert to decimal by pressing this key here, the one that has the two opposite arrows, and then it gives you 69.52. So that's the, this is the amount of interest. So that's how you find the amount of interest using the rule of 78. Okay, so let me show you the whole thing here. And this formula, this is what you need. This is the rule of 78. The U is the unearned interest. F is the finance charge. K is the remaining payments. N is the original number of payments. And the way to the way to find the F, remember the F, which is the total interest, that's really the finance charge. Think of it as the finance charge for F. Little f for finance charge. The same finance charge that we've been dealing with in other problems. So, and the way I found it was I took the amount that was paid in monthly payments and then subtract the principal, right? And so that gives you the amount of interest or the finance charge, which is 316. That's the F. And then the K, you just take the total number of months minus the 13 months that, after 13 months, then you're going to pay them off. So that's going to be 11, right? So 24 minus 13, 11. And then you have the rest there, okay? So you plug everything in and you get 69.52 for the answer here. Okay, so that's number 9. And so I apologize a little bit in the beginning. I was like, okay, what are they asking for? I was like, because this is a little different. I mean, it's not your everyday kind of question, honestly. The rule of 78, I was not very familiar with, but I guess is used, people in finance, they use it a lot to calculate the total interest. I would imagine. I'm not really, to be honest with you, I wasn't very familiar with this rule, but we changed books and we started using this rule, so we need to be familiar with it. But all you need to know is how to use it, and you will be told when to use it. So don't worry about, oh, when do I know when to use it? You will be asked, okay, use the rule of 78 and basically just remember the formula, and you don't have to memorize it. You always have access to your formula sheet, and I will always allow you to use all your notes on every test. So you'll have access to your notes. So don't worry about, oh, I'm gonna forget this formula. You'll have your notes with you. You just need to know what each thing represents, right? And make sure you have the definitions next to you and that you're familiar with the definitions and what it is that they're asking for. The F is nothing but the finance charge, the same finance charge that we are used to dealing with in the previous problems, okay? All right. Okay. So that is number 9. And I think we have one more problem that I want to do. Let me go back to the workbook. Number 10 is the same situation. You want to use the rule of 78. So practice with number 10, please. And if you want to try also 11 and 12, that would be great. I'm going to do number 13 because this is totally different. This is calculating monthly payment on a credit card. And I have to walk you through the whole process here. It's not as, it's pretty tedious, this problem, but we need to be familiar with this. This is basically a method called, it's called the average daily balance approach to calculating the monthly payment, the minimum payment due on a credit card statement. You know, when you get those credit card statements every month, and you know, at the right there on your bill, you see, if you're familiar with what I'm talking about, if you have a credit card, you'll see minimum payment due. So what we're gonna do now with problem number 13 is to show you how credit card companies actually figure that out. How do they figure out your minimum payment due? Which, by the way, is not wise to pay only the minimum payment, because you will take too long to, if you're able to pay off the balance. It's much wiser to give a lot more, and if possible, pay off the balance before the end of the 30 days. Although very few people do that, honestly. But just credit cards, as you know, they're very dangerous if they are not if they're not used responsibly. They can be very dangerous because the interest rates are really high, and because they charge compound interest, it accumulates pretty quickly, and the balances grow pretty quickly. And so, okay, July, the month of July has 31 days, so that's important. So I need to create a little table here for this problem. I need to set up my own table because I won't be able to write on the thing here. So let me just bear with me a little bit here. And I'm just gonna go, you know, I'm gonna write some of these dates here. The 7/1, and then I'm gonna just write 7 for the month. So 7/7, and then 7/8. So the first thing to do is we're going to fill out this table. And then after we're done, we're gonna answer the questions. So the main thing right now is to fill out the table, okay? So, and on the, give me just a second, so balance. So we start with a balance of 5,467.26. And then days, then the days, and then the calculations. And I'm going to show you how this is done. And the transactions, just give me just a second because I do need to write down the transactions here. So there was a payment of 300, and then there's a charge in a restaurant of 159.45, and then video games of 186.74, groceries of 121.41, and then the cell phone of 352.64. Okay, now I have everything here, and I'm going to stop sharing now because the first thing is you want to go ahead and fill this out, okay? Now, as I'm doing this, make sure you have your workbook in front of you so you can follow along. We start with a balance of $5,467.26. Okay. And now what we're going to do is start recording the balances as the transactions take place. So the first transaction takes place on the 7th of July, and that's for a payment of $300. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 5,467.26, and we're going to subtract $300, and we're going to get a new balance there. So the new balance is going to be, and make sure you check my numbers, because if I make a mistake, you can correct me and you can see like where I made the mistake. So here, the new balance, once you subtract the payment, is going to be $5,167.26. So this is the new balance, right? And then there is on the 8th a restaurant charge. So to that amount, there's a charge of $159.45. So you're going to add $159.45 for a new balance of $5,326.71. So I added to the $5,167.26 the $159.45, and I get $5,326.71, and that's on the 8th of July, right? Then there's another charge of video games of $186.74. So you add to that amount $186.74, and that gives me $5,513.45, right? And so that is for groceries. Sorry, that was for video games. On the 17th, I'm gonna have a charge of $126.41 of groceries, and so that moves it up to $5,634.86. Okay, on the 17th. And lastly, a cell phone charge of $352.64, which takes it to $5,992.50. Okay, so that's basically what I end up with here. Now, 5,000. One second, let me see. So 352.64, 56. On the 25th, hold on, 5,000 on the 17th. No, this one's fine now. The 25th, the charge, the cell phone charge, give me a second. Let me make sure that I got the cell phone charge right. 352.64. So to the 17th, on the 25th, I have to have, let me double check this one because I think this one is wrong, the last one. So 5,634.86 plus 352.64 gives me 5,987.50. Yeah, I think I made a mistake right there, but the last one. So I'm adding 5,634.86 plus 352.64. Yeah, this one, it should be 5,987.50. 5,987.50. This is called the unpaid balance at the end, unpaid balance. Okay, so this is the unpaid balance. Now make sure you're able to do, I mean, you understand what I'm doing here. I'm just adding the transactions on the balance column here based on the transactions that took place during the month, right? Now the next column, days, is figured out as follows. Make sure you pay attention here. You're going to go to the second row and you're going to subtract the number of days from the 7 to the 1st. So 7 minus 1 equals 6. So you're going to write 6 on the first row here. Second column, First row, second column, 7 minus 1 equals 6. And you do the same thing for the second row. 8 minus 7 equals 1. Okay. 11 minus 8 equals 3. 17 minus 11 equals 6. And 25 minus 17 equals 8. And then you have to see what you need to count these numbers. And then the last number here, this number here is going to be whatever you need in order to get 31 because July has 31 days. Once again, you're gonna subtract 7 minus 1 equals 6, 8 minus 7 equals 1, 11 minus 8 equals 3, 17 minus 11 equals 6, 25 minus 17 equals 8, and whatever you need here to get 31. So let's count. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10, plus 6 is 16, plus 8 is 24. So you need 31. So 24, you need 7 days in order to get 31 here. So you need 7 there. Right here, you need 7. Because when you count all of them, you should get 31, okay? So the total is 31 days. Okay, when you add everything up. All right. Very important, okay? Now, once you have column 2, then you're gonna do column 3. And the way that you're going to do this is as follows. You're gonna multiply. So I'm gonna do the first one for you. 5,467.26 times 6. So you multiply the first column times the second column. And then you're gonna get 32,803.56, right, for this one. And then 5,167.26 times 1, it just gives you 5,167.26. Then you're going to multiply 5,326.71 times 3, right? That gives us, I'm going to write these down for the sake of time. Remember, you're multiplying column 2 times column 3. And then 5,513 times 45 times 6, that gives you 33,080.17. And then 5,634.86 times 8, this is going to give you 45,078.88 cents. And then you're going to multiply the last one here, 5,987.5 times 7 gives you 41,912.5. Okay. So the numbers that you have are 32,803.56, 5,167.26, 15,980.13, 33,080.17, and 45,078.88. Last one is 41,912.5. Now, this is very important because you're going to add all of these numbers. You're going to add all of these numbers. Remember, I told you this is quite long, but it's not complicated. It's just a little tedious. You're going to add these numbers, the 32,803.56 plus 5,167.26 plus 15,980.13 plus 33,080.17, 45,078.88, and 41,912.5. You add all of them. Okay, so add column 3. I'm gonna move to another page here. So add column 3. Okay, I'm gonna add column 3. And you're gonna get, excuse me, this number, 174,023 cents. Then you're gonna multiply 174,023 times 0.03 times, you're gonna divide, not multiply. You're gonna divide by the number of days in the month, 31 days, by the number of days in the month, because July has 31 days, you divide by 31, and that's going to give you what we call the average daily balance, okay? So when you do that, you're going to get 5,613 and 65. This is the average daily balance. You need this number to answer the questions. This is very important, average daily balance. Okay, the average daily balance is 5,613 and 65 cents. How is this? Again, let me go back. Remember what we did. You record the transactions here. You start with the balance on the credit card statement, the original balance. And then you start recording the transactions on column 1. And then you count the number of days, how I showed you. You add what are in the very last row, you're going to add whatever days you need to get the total number of days in the month. If it's August, it's 31. If it's June, it's not going to be 31, right? So depending on the month. And then the last column is you're going to multiply column 1 times column 2, and you get a number. And then you're going to add all of these numbers in the end, right? And then you're going to divide that total by the number of days in the month. That gives you average daily balance, which we will need to answer the questions in the problem. So let me take you back to the problem here. Okay, now part A is what we did. We already found the average daily balance, part A. So this is question 13. Okay, question 13. Now let's look at B. B is asking for the finance charge for the month. Okay, finance charge for the month. Well, the finance charge for the month is the interest paid for the month. So the interest paid for the month is, let's take a look. What is the interest rate? It says the interest rate is 1.6% per month. Okay, notice something really interesting here, that the interest rate is already given to us not as a yearly rate, but as a monthly rate. That's going to make a difference in the way we apply the formula, because we don't have to convert the time to years. I'm going to say this again. We do not have to convert time to years because the rate is given already as a monthly rate. So we can simply apply the given rate in the formula without worrying about the time. Time is going to be 1 month. So T will be equal to 1. T will be equal to 1 month. And the rate is going to be 0.016, right? And so we want to find total interest. And so let me go back to, so finance charge, let me write it, finance charge. And then so interest rate is 0.016, okay? And so, so the way that you're going to calculate the finance charge, you need to remember that you have the average daily balance. So you're going to use this amount. And to find the finance charge, you're going to use the formula I equals P times R times T. Remember this formula for interest. The principal is going to be the average daily balance. So it's going to be 5,613 and 65. The interest rate is a monthly rate, so it's going to be 0.016, and the time is 1 month, so I don't have to convert to years, so it's just times 1. So then when you multiply 5,613.65 times 0.016 times 1, it's gonna give you the interest amount of $89.82. This is the finance charge, just the amount of interest that is paid in the month. This is per month, okay? So this is the interest that this credit card has for 1 month. That's a lot of interest, right? If you're given $100 as a minimum payment, that means that most of it is going to be applied to the interest, right? So that's what I want you to see here, that the interest, the finance charge, is how much interest you're paying on this credit card per month. This is per month. So you're paying $89.82 per month. If we're only given $100 for a monthly payment, for the minimum payment, and then that is not enough, right, to take care of the balance, and it's gonna take a long time, right? But that's the finance charge. So let me go back to the problem here. The balance due. Okay, in order to find the balance due, you have to add the interest to the unpaid balance that we had. Let me take you back to, so the balance, okay, let me write the thing here. Balance on August 1st. So balance due August 1st, or new balance, you know, is going to be, remember this amount when we were doing the calculations. Remember on the credit card statement, after this person charged all of those charges, right? The balance was 5,987.5. You need this amount. So we're gonna take for the balance due, or for the new balance for August, is going to be 5,987.5. So we have to use the amount that has all the transactions, right? Plus the payment that we the $300 payment. And then we add the interest or the finance charge to this. And the new balance August 1st is going to be, when you add these two, is going to be 6,077 and 32 cents. 6,077 and 32 cents. All right. And that's when you add the finance charge. Okay. And the next thing is they're asking for how much will what's the minimum payment? Oh, look what it says here. The credit card requires a $12 minimum payment if the balance is less than 384. Obviously, that's not the case here because we have a balance of 5,987.5. So then it says, otherwise, the minimum payment is 1/32 times the unpaid balance. So you're going to multiply 1/32 times whatever we owe now, right? We have to include the interest. So what you're going to do is, it's easy. You just have to take the 1/32 times the 6,077.32 is going to give us a minimum payment of 189.92, but we're going to round to the nearest dollar. So it's going to be 190, right? Because it says here, I think I read that. Let me see. Round up. Notice the instructions. Round up to the nearest dollar. It says to round up. Anytime you hear round up, just round up. Okay, so 189.82. So we're going to round it up to 190. Okay, to the nearest dollar. Okay, so this problem, make sure that you understand how to do this problem. So this is, I believe we went through a lot of problems here already, so you should be in good shape for this section. There was a lot here. So make sure you study, make sure you don't fall behind. And if you need any help, let me know. Remember, you have access to the tutors in Math World. Reach out to the tutors. They're excellent tutors, by the way. Look for some, let's see, Mike Murphy. He's very good in this course, Mike Murphy. And also the tutoring lab, Mr. Perez, he's excellent in every course. I mean, he's knowledgeable in all the courses. So that's the coordinator of the tutoring lab. And you have access to virtual Math World. So they still have these tutoring sessions on Zoom that you can request, you know, a tutor. And it's a one-on-one tutoring service. So it's not like you actually get a person to sit there with you, okay, during a Zoom session. So take advantage of that. I have the link in the Canvas course. And also, if you prefer to get tutoring from me, I'll be happy to do it. Check out my office hours, send me an email, let me know that you need help, and we can make arrangements so that you can join me via Zoom also. You're not alone in this course, remember that, okay? We're here to help you succeed. I know there's a lot of information here, there's a lot of formulas, a lot of things in this course. So, okay, well, I think that's it for this section. We've been here for a little bit of time already. So God bless you, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.